Hey, Ezra here, and your business does not work without traffic. If people don't know that you exist, you don't have a business. And I partnered up with the folks over at Shopify, and they put together a video training on what's working right now for Facebook and Instagram ads for Shopify merchants. 2021, it's all different. And this video shows you what's working across all of Shopify for how to get people from social media over to your site, and not just to get them to your site, get them to your site and have them be interested in your products. Super cool video. I'm gonna pass you over to the folks at Shopify. Thank you so much to Shopify for creating this, and I'll see you on the other side.
If you can't catch a person's attention and deliver a relevant, engaging message, sales will remain elusive. Because even if you have a valuable product, no one will know it exists if you can't grab a person's attention, hold their interest, and earn a click. If you're here now, you know that not being able to reach new customers is one of the most common problems e-commerce entrepreneurs face. And the simple truth is that ad creative and ad copy are the defining factors in whether your ad campaigns will succeed. So today we're going to get creative and talk about strategies to improve the visual and word elements of your ad. First, I'd like to thank Ezra Firestone so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here today and share some actionable lessons for making ads that drive more conversions. Ad creative is all about getting people to visualize how your product will improve their life so that they complete a profitable action. But how do we get someone to that point? First, they need to do a few things. The person needs to acknowledge that they have a problem and that it's important enough to solve. The person has to realize that the problem should be solved right now. The person needs to accept that your product is the best way to solve that problem. And the person needs to understand the next steps to take. Now, for over a century, advertisers have used AIDA as the framework for making stellar creative. Basically, it states that effective creative excels at 4 stages. A stands for attention. I stands for interest. D stands for desire. And A stands for action. Now, AIDA is a powerful theoretical framework because it helps you start to understand what process your creative needs to accomplish on an emotional and psychological level to result in an action. First, you need to make your audience stop in their tracks with a headline and visual that hooks them. Before we're ever given the privilege to sell something, we need people to look at us. Then you need to increase their interest with a message that feels personal. This can be done with a story or by underlining a problem and implying a solution. Then you need to create desire with a story of improvement highlighting specific benefits that naturally arise from that solution. Then you need to be specific with your call to action. If you want someone to do something, you need to ask. In addition to AIDA, I wanted to offer a complementary framework that is more specific to advertising on Facebook and Instagram. This breaks down elements that effective ads are made of. First, we have the hook, we have pain points, solution, benefits, product demonstrations, features, social proof, risk reversal / overcoming objections, and a call to action. Now, let's look at this ad here and we can plot out where these things are happening.
Stitch Fix is an online personal styling service.
You set your styles, your sizes.
It's just so convenient. This box comes right to your doorstep, and you get to try everything on in the comfort of your own house.
There's no subscription, and if something doesn't fit, I send it back for free.
Sign up now at stitchfix.com.
Right off the bat, the company introduces the brand and immediately establishes value for the target audience. The ad also establishes that the subject is an actual customer and not just a paid actor. And that can go a really long way for establishing trust, as customers are your best brand champions. Now, this ad does a really good job of objection handling. It says there's no subscription and that there's free shipping and returns. And risk reversal is a powerful selling tool. Within seconds, the viewer understands the main product benefits, that this is super convenient and is completely customizable. And it's doing this at the same time as giving you a visual understanding of how the product works. And product demonstrations are super powerful and actually one of the most effective styles of ads. This ad does a phenomenal job of taking you through the entire customer journey, showing you how simple it is, but also showcasing the amazing outcome that you'll get if you become a customer. Within the first 2 seconds of this video, we already understand what problem this product is solving. It's going to be our own personal stylist. Now, while not every video ad needs an extremely high level of production value, this is a product that benefits from it because it's clothing, and the entire video makes the subject look beautiful and confident. And that's exactly how you would want to feel if you became a customer. Lastly, this ad ends with a clear call to action.
Now, before we go through how to write effective copy and make engaging creative, I wanted to talk a little bit about ad sequencing, probably more commonly known as a marketing funnel. A marketing funnel is a sequence of ad campaigns that are designed to take users through the various stages of the buyer's journey. Simply put, this means delivering the right message to the right people at the right moment. That means we need to create ads that speak to what stage an audience is in. First, we have a cold audience. And these are people who are strangers and thus completely unaware of our product. In the world of Facebook ads, this breaks down to our broad audiences, our lookalike audiences, and our interest-based targeting audiences. To these audiences, we are looking to get them to understand that we exist and that our product solves a valuable problem. Next, we have a warm audience. And these are people who know we exist and have expressed some form of interest in what we do. These are people who have seen our ads or people who have followed us on social or engaged with our content in some way. Maybe they've left a comment or they've liked one of our posts. To these audiences, we're looking to highlight specific problems and specific benefits and why our product is better than worse alternatives. We want them to imagine how much better their life would be like with our product in it. Lastly, we have a hot audience. And these are people that have taken an action that shows they are highly interested and want to learn more about our product. These are people who have landed on our website and been tracked by our pixel. Maybe they've signed up for our newsletter. Maybe they've even added a product to their cart but then abandoned it. To these audiences, we are looking to apply urgency and add incentives through limited time discounts to help inspire a purchase. See how each one of these audiences requires a unique message that corresponds to their stage in the buyer's journey? Well, we're going to keep that in mind when creating ads. Now let's talk about ad formats. Now each ad format has its own benefits, drawbacks, and use cases. Each format conveys information in a unique way, which ultimately affects perception. Marshall McLuhan once wrote, "The medium is the message," and this is exactly what he meant. First, we have image ads. These are easy to make and low budget and are perfect for simple messages. Then we have video ads. Videos are a perfect way to tell a brand story or demonstrate exactly how your product improves a person's life. Then we have carousel ads. These are perfect for showcasing multiple products or showing different angles of one product. They're also great for telling a story sequentially. Then we have a collection. These include what Facebook calls an instant experience, which is almost like a landing page right on Facebook. These include a banner image or a video to tell a story while showcasing your product catalog. Then we have stories ads. These allow you to run video or images in a 9:16 format, which means it fills up a cell phone perfectly. One major benefit of stories ads is because an Instagram story takes up the entire phone screen, it's not competing with anything above or below it. When getting started with Facebook and Instagram ads, running multiple ad formats is a wise idea for two reasons. Firstly, different people react to different types of creative, and you'll want to test what works best with your customers. Also, running multiple formats means ad fatigue will take longer to set in. Ad fatigue is simply the marketer's version of the law of diminishing returns. Ad fatigue is when people have seen your ads so many times that they simply begin to ignore them. Let's discuss buyer personas. Now, when people see themselves in your copy, they are more likely to take action. That's why before you start creating, you want to create 3 to 5 unique buyer personas. These buyer personas should have unique problems and unique motivations. A buyer persona is a fictional character based on a subsect of your audience that shares a collective experience. Buyer personas really help you to understand your consumer by articulating the most essential parts of that shared experience. Let's say you're selling fresh pressed turmeric and ginger juice. Here's an example of a bad buyer persona. Middle-aged Americans interested in health food and fitness. Why is this weak? Because it is overly general. Here is a good buyer persona that gives us far more detail about who our consumer is, how they behave, and what they believe. Jim, the 45-year-old sales executive and fitness lover who is concerned about inflammation and gaining weight. Jim wants to be able to be as active for as long as possible. He does intermittent fasting 3 times a week, and Jim is always busy running to meetings and wants an on-the-go, healthy way to break his fast and reduce inflammation. You'll want to create 3 to 5 buyer personas before writing copy, so that when you finally start writing, you speak directly to your consumers. Ad copy is salesmanship in print. Unlike regular writing like fiction or nonfiction writing that's meant to expand imagination and impart knowledge, copywriting is primarily meant to inspire us to take a profitable action. Usually that means buying something or signing up for a waitlist or anything else like that. To be a really good ad copywriter, you need to get awesome at 2 things: understanding the desires and experiences of your customers, and talking about those desires and experiences in an engaging way. Now, when writing ad copy, one really helpful tactic for peering inside the minds of your consumers is by looking at the reviews of your competitors' products. These can be an absolute goldmine for language that you can use to inspire your own copy. Specifically, the 2 or 3 star reviews of your competitors' products can help you unearth complaints from their customers. And these complaints from your competitors' customers are raw material that you can use in your own copy to help you overcome objections. What's so powerful about doing this is that you can address questions or concerns before a prospect even thinks them. Great copywriting feels a bit like telepathy. Now, when writing creative copy, I wanted to give you some fundamental copywriting principles. First, you'll want to appeal to a potential customer's self-interest. The reality is, people don't actually care about the product you're selling. They simply care about what's in it for them. A product is just a vehicle to solving a person's pain point or improving a person's life. That is something crucial you need to keep in mind throughout the entire copywriting process. To prove this, which ad copy is most appealing? Volcano snow pants are made of 2-layer sealed Gore-Tex and have back thigh ventilator zips. Or, you shouldn't have to choose between shivering and sweating. Volcano snow pants are windproof, waterproof, and breathable. The first option focuses on features and ignores benefits completely. But the reality is, consumers only care about features if they map to a tangible benefit. The second option will definitely be most effective at prompting a purchase, because it tells a product story and helps the consumer visualize the benefit they'll receive by using the product. Not only that, but it helps them imagine the problem and how unpleasant it is. Simply put, the product highlights a concern that can only be solved by buying the product. Now, on top of focusing on benefits over features, you need to give consumers both emotional and logical reasons for purchasing. Because when people buy things, they will decide with their heart and justify with their head. For example, let's say a hotshot entrepreneur buys a Tesla Model S. This person's logical reason will likely be that an electric car is better for the environment. But below that, there is an emotional reason, which might be that pulling up to the office in a slick-looking Tesla makes them feel successful and progressive. Here's another example. When someone buys a minivan, the logical reason is likely that it is a large, practical vehicle. The emotional reason might be that being able to travel with the whole family will bring the family closer together. Next thing I wanted to talk about is headlines. The power of headlines can't be understated. David Ogilvy, the legendary advertiser, once wrote, "On average, 5 times as many people read the headline as the body copy. When you've written your headline, you have spent 80 cents out of your dollar." Ogilvy's point is simple. The headline is arguably the most crucial copy element because if you fail here, nothing else you write will be read. As a result, Ogilvy used to write over 15 headlines for each advertisement. Why? Because a simple headline change can vastly affect the outcome and drastically impact sales. Now, in the world of advertising on Facebook and Instagram, not every placement has a headline, but the same principle applies to any prominent text you'll see in that placement. Here are some rules of thumb. Number 1, be clear about what you're selling. If more people read the headline than anything else, why be coy? You need to be specific right off the bat. Number 2, hint at a solution to a pain point. Highlighting the problem and pouring salt on the wound, making the problem seem even more painful, is a good tactic. Then present your product as the solution. Number 3, use positive language. You want the consumer to associate positive images with your brand and product. As a result, if you're selling a rain jacket, you wouldn't want to write, "Our jacket won't leave you soaked and cold." You don't want them to associate your product with those negatives. Instead, you'd write, "A jacket so waterproof you can wear it in the shower." You'll also want to use language that reflects how customers actually speak. Your industry might call it garments, but people call them clothes. The ad industry might call it copy and creatives, but most people call them words, photos, and videos. Drop the jargon and speak like customers. Most people won't have the patience to decode what you're saying, and even fewer are going to take the time to run a Google search. Also, get to the point quickly. Attention and time are the most valuable resources we have. Respect that by being punchy and concise.
This is the spreadsheet that we'll be using to build our ad copy. First, we start off with a value proposition, and a value proposition is just a selling point that we're going to build our copy around. It's the core idea. A value proposition is a benefit matched with a quality of your product. The best way to come up with really strong value propositions is to brainstorm a lot of them and then distill them down to the 3 or 4 best. Below that, we simply have the format, and it's really important to note this because the medium will affect how we convey our message. Next, we have our audience categories. Are they a cold audience that has never heard of your brand or product? Are they a warm audience that knows a bit about your product but needs more information and more inspiration? Or are they a hot audience that is ready to buy but is just waiting for the right moment? Each will require a unique message. And also, this is a great opportunity to build out sequences for your ads. Next, we have the headline section, and headlines are absolutely crucial. They can have a large effect on your conversions. As a result, you'll want to write out many different options until you circle in on the one that is most compelling and most concise. Different styles of headlines can ask a really important question. They can highlight how your product is different, or they can articulate your solution to an important problem and the benefit that a customer receives. Below that, we have our creative concept, which is what is actually happening in the ad creative, the video or the photo. So with our ad creative, we want to be really intentional here. We only want to use images that actually supply context and meaning to the viewer. Let's avoid stock images entirely. Ideally, let's find a creative way of showing the product in action through a product demonstration. And let's make sure that any of the visual elements we use represent the aesthetic of the brand. Now, below the creative concept in our sheet, we have the creative copy, and these are the words that will be prominently featured over top of the beginning of your video ad or over top of your image ad. The creative copy, much like the headline, is absolutely crucial in capturing attention and getting people to pay attention to your message. With our creative copy, we want to do one of two things. Either we want to succinctly summarize how our product works, why it's important, and the benefits it gives the consumer, or we want to target an anxiety, fear, or problem that consumers are facing that our product can actually solve. Like I said, our goal is to capture attention here. The next section we have is called the body copy section, and this is going to make up the meat of our marketing message. Now, we want to open our body copy with a hook to ensure that the viewer continues reading. I also like to include social proof here, so something like a quote from a journalist about your product, or it can be a customer testimonial. Like I said before, customers can be some of your best brand champions and really increase trust. In your body copy, you'll want to take this opportunity to explain more about your product. I like to use emojis that map to specific customer benefits or to specific product features. The goal is to use emojis not just to be eye-catching, but to help tell a product story. In your body copy, it's really important to avoid vague statements and to be really specific about how your product makes people's lives better. You'll want to use this opportunity to handle any objections that potential customers may have and preemptively answer any questions that may also come up. Lastly, you'll want to make sure that you include a clear call to action and a link to the landing page you want customers to land on. Below the body copy, we have the link description, and the link description is the copy that's going to appear directly below the headline. We can use the link description to supply more social proof and increase trust, to convey another product benefit in a concise manner, or to stoke a feeling of urgency and give incentive through, say, a time-limited discount. Finally, we have the display URL, which should direct users to the web page you want them to land on. And lastly, we have the CTA, which should accurately represent the action you want potential customers to take.
Shopify has all the features you need to make Facebook and Instagram even more profitable. And you can click the link above this video, below this video, to get a 14-day free trial right now, no credit card required. It's the best thing that you can use. If you need a piece of technology to build your brand on, there's nothing like it. I use it for all my brands. I cannot recommend it enough. Try Shopify, free trial right now. Back to the video.
Now, one thing I want to stress up front is that when it comes to ad creatives, you shouldn't be deterred by thinking you need to have some extremely high level of production value to deliver amazing results. When it comes to running ads, the most important thing is their ability to drive sales, not their ability to win some fancy advertising award. So while production value can be highly effective for certain brands in certain markets, for others, lower production value, sometimes even things shot on a cell phone, can be equally effective. When done correctly, of course. Because really, it's not the camera, but the execution of marketing principles that make scroll-stopping ads and open minds and open wallets. Here are the most important things to keep in mind when making ad creatives. Number one is make your imagery bold and noticeable. That being said, you want it to feel right in the context of the platform. Your goal is to be eye-catching, not obnoxious. Number two, your creatives should overlay words so that people don't need to work too hard to decipher what it is you're selling. Use motion graphics on video and text overlays on images. Further to this point, for video, you should always include captions so people have the option of watching the ad with the sound off. Number three, avoid stock imagery. Instead, you want to be really specific about the imagery and videos you use and avoid anything too ambiguous. The reason for this is simple. The creative you choose for your ad dictates whether your audience will actually invest the time to read any of your copy. Number four, use customer testimonials. Past customers are often the best advocates for your brand. When past customers speak on your behalf, they are more trustworthy because they have nothing to gain. Video ads that feature customer testimonials are a good example of where lower production value is a good thing because they feel more natural and honest. Number five, use images and videos that demonstrate how your product works and why your product's valuable. Product demonstrations are pragmatic, and that's exactly why they are so effective. Number six, make your creative square or optimized for vertical video. People consume content first on mobile, and these aspect ratios of 1:1, 4:3, and 9:16 take up way more real estate on a phone, meaning you're competing with less for attention. Lastly, use social proof. Beyond customer testimonials, you want to help induce a herd mentality amongst consumers. See, people's behavior and thoughts are influenced by their peers. Social proof can be anything from reviews to press quotes to the number of satisfied customers to the number of 5-star reviews. Now let's talk about iteration and measurement. The best marketers understand that creating effective ads is an iterative process that is equal parts craft and science. You shouldn't go into creating ads thinking you're going to hit a home run right out of the gate. Rather, increasing the return on your ad spend is going to be a process of experimentation and revision. This is typically how the process works. First, you're going to create several ads with variations in creative and copy that you can test against each other. Then you're going to run the ads to your audience. Once the ads have run for at least 7 days and you have a solid amount of data, you can see what worked and what didn't. Then you're going to pause the ads that didn't do well, and you're going to keep the ads running that did do well. And you can potentially put more budget behind the ones that did really great. Now you're going to create new copy and new creatives and new ads in general, using the insights gleaned from what worked best and what didn't to try and beat out your best performing ads. You want to keep repeating this process, iterating and testing, always trying to beat your best performing ad creative. Now, one final thing I wanted to touch on in this lesson is things you should definitely avoid in your ad copy and creative if you want your ads to be approved by Facebook. Since we're using Facebook's ad platform, we need to play by their rules. You don't want to find yourself in a situation where your ads are continually getting disapproved or your ad account gets suspended altogether. Facebook's ad policy is quite dense, but I urge you to go through it if you're serious about advertising on Facebook. Here are some of the top things you should definitely avoid. Never try advertising something that is prohibited by Facebook. Never spread misinformation. Never make unrealistic promises like getting rich overnight. Don't send people to a landing page that isn't directly related to the ad or isn't fully functional. Don't run ads with typos. Don't target personal attributes. Keep your images Facebook appropriate. And lastly, don't use copyrighted images. Now, if your ad doesn't get approved, you can simply edit it and submit it for review. It's that simple. When it comes to creating Facebook ads that actually convert, one of the most important parts for setting yourself up for success is creating a sales funnel. Luckily, Learn With Shopify just posted a video on our channel that features Ezra Firestone, where he's going to show you how to build a dangerously effective sales funnel so you can grow sales on autopilot. Make sure to click the link, head over to Learn With Shopify, and check that video out. If you haven't already, take advantage of Shopify's free 14-day trial, no credit card required. Shopify is everything you need to sell online, and it's so intuitive, it makes building an online store easy and fun. With Shopify's built-in marketing features, you'll always be one step ahead of the competition. It's a bit like rocket fuel for your business. Level up by clicking this link. Hopefully this video has given you some serious value, and you feel more confident writing better copy and making more engaging creatives. Now comes the most important part, which is putting these learnings into practice and getting even better through consistent experimentation. Thanks so much to Ezra Firestone for having me. For more simple, actionable tips to grow your online business, make sure to subscribe to Learn With Shopify. We're a channel for small business owners with big plans.
So there you have it. That's how you be successful at driving visibility for your brand in 2021. A lot of technical, a lot of tactical stuff. And if you're not already on Shopify, you should be. You can get a free 14-day trial right now. You can click above, below, no credit card required. It is hands down, take your hands, put them down. Hands down, the best platform out there when it comes to building a website that you're gonna sell something on. There's nothing better. All my businesses are built on it. Check it out. Shopify, my favorite. Appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one.